Welcome, everyone. This is day 4. I can't believe we've actually gotten through all 4 days in a row. We did have some technical glitches one night, but the revised one, it was on this morning. We did it again for you, so you didn't have to listen to all that crazy noise. Anyway, we're very glad to have you back. We hope this has been a really helpful, useful process to you, and we're really looking forward to working with some of you in the coaching program. We know that there's so much more to do. We've just hit some highlights here. I'm Linda Easthouse. Cheryl Hanna is my co-coach, my, as we say, partner in crime. Oh, we don't actually do any crime. Partner in fun. How's that fun? But it doesn't sound as good. Anyway, welcome, and let's get started.
So just to recap, we're day 1, we talked about who controls your values. Are you in charge of setting the agenda for your life and how you interact with people? Or are other people working to derail you and enforce their own agenda on top of you? It was really interesting today. I actually worked with a woman. I was coaching her and we were doing corrections and stuff. And that actual issue came up about how she was allowing her husband to just kind of run right over the top of her with what he wanted to do and not take into consideration some of the issues she had. And one of the things that Linda has talked about earlier is how women get to a certain stage in their life and they feel like they don't know where they're going, they don't know what their purpose is. And this woman hadn't watched any of our videos, but she'd expressed exactly those things when we were working together. So thymus tap is something that we use to help drop the stress around some of the things that we're experiencing. So again, to do a thymus tap, you put your hand on the right side. You're going to go up towards your throat. So you're going to go in a clockwise fashion around the sternum. And you just tap. And you tap deep enough, hard enough that you can actually hear a thunk. And that will activate your thymus and help to bring your body into attention and into alignment and drop the stress out of the system around the particular thing you're working on. So just take a moment, think about something you find stressful, and do a thymus tap until you can feel a shift. So you might do what Linda does and give a sigh, you might yawn, or you might just feel the tension, just like I can just feel tension just draining out of my body. Some of my body tissues I've been clenching.
There's always that little bit when you first turn the video on and you're live and it's like, okay. And it's just like, oh, relax. We're good. Yeah. We got this. All righty. Thank you. Day 2 was all about self-integrity, the conflict between your beliefs and your values, and how it's so important that we dig up those conflicts and look at them and recognize where what we think we believe and what we're doing is very different, and how we can bring those into congruence. And one of the ways we do that is to use the belief system eliminator, or as we like to call it, the BS eliminator. And again, it's not about removing the actual belief system. You're still going to have the belief, but it removes the stress off of it. So it no longer puts you into fight or flight. It no longer causes you to freeze. And you can think about that issue in a completely different way. And just a quick review on that belief system elimination. You find whatever sentence causes stress to you, whatever thought, and you wanted a fairly short, succinct, direct thing that you're actually talking about. For many women, one that comes up very early in the process with them is, I am worthy. And so you're going to take the headline here and above the hairline and below the hairline and pinch together into the hairline. And at the base of the skull, right where the spine comes together, there's that soft spot, and just where the soft spot and the bone come together, you're going to do sideways pinching there, the two together, and you're going to say the sentence out loud. I am worthy. 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 And you're just going to keep doing it until you'll often hear your voice change, or you'll feel a sigh or a deep breath or a relax, and it just won't bother you anymore. And so those are the kinds of thoughts that sometimes we don't think as being stressful or as things that need to be eliminated, But if the thought, I am worthy, is stressful to you, that needs to be removed so you can actually feel worthy. And there's, in your homework, you had a whole long sheet of those that you can choose from. You can adjust them to yourself. You can take whatever thoughts run in your head. But we need to work through a lot of those layers to get rid of the conflict between what you want to believe and what you actually do. Because what you actually do is based on where your stresses are. The stresses will cause you to go into the default mode, which means you won't act worthy if there's stress on that thought. And so we hope that that BS eliminator will be a really useful thing to you as you learn to bring your life into balance and harmony so that your beliefs and your values and your actions all line up together.
On day 3, we talked to you about how to identify the change that you want to see. Sometimes we know where we want to go, but getting there, we just don't know how we might want to do it, and we may not be clear on how we're going to get there, and we may have a number of things that are quite stressful to us that we think are getting in the way. And this is where using this particular technique is really useful, because when we're afraid, it sends all the blood from the forebrain back into the emotional part of the brain, and you're not able to see what your options are because you're stuck in fight or flight, fawn, or freeze. And so this is designed to help remove that stress out of the system, bring all the blood back to the forebrain so that you can think rationally, clearly, you can see your options, and then you can move forward. So to do that, there were a number of points that you hold. The first set of points, you just take your thumbs and you bring them back to the hairline in the temple. The next set of points are right under the brow bone here, the frontal eminence, and in line with your pupil line. And then the third set is on the top where your soft spot was as a baby. They call it the anterior fontanelle. And you just hold these points lightly and think about whatever it is that you find stressful until you find yourself either yawning or sighing or just noticing a drop of tension in your body, or you might even feel a slight pulsing in your fingers.
Remember, you can always put your elbows down and just rest your head if your hands get sore.
Mm-hmm. Then once you've released the stress off that particular item that you've been thinking about, you now have the clarity to choose the value that you want to live out in that particular situation.
So these 3 tools are just the beginning of the energy side of it. And the issues that we're addressing here are the first steps towards getting you to where you want to go. To become who you want and to integrate these changes and so much more that we've looked at over these 3 days, the coaching program is really the foundation. It's 6 months of really intense work on yourself. It's changing from the inside out. So this Reclaim Your Life Mastery coaching will help you uncover the roots of your happiness and your frustration. We don't focus on symptoms. Symptoms will continue to show up over and over and over in different ways until you heal the core cause of the issue. So through the balancing work, we'll deal with the core causes. In the coaching work, we'll bring those core causes to the surface so you can think about them and see them. And you will begin to transform your mind and your emotions so that you can maximize the results in your life. You will transform your life forever by changing your relationship to yourself, by mastering your mind chatter, and by practicing emotional mastery. This is not a coaching program that only works while you're in it. Our goal is to train you, give you the tools, equip you, and get you into a place where you can continue to do these things for yourself whenever a new issue comes up. Because we are human. Life happens to us. Things that are beyond our control happen. And yet we can have the tools to work with that.
Sustainable transformation is crucial because no matter how good things get, you're going to always find yourself facing some form of adversity at different points in your life. Unfortunately, that's when a lot of women quit their goals or find themselves falling back into well-established but dysfunctional ways of being. because they don't know what their options are, or they don't have the skills, the rituals, the habits, or the relationship to sustain themselves. You're going to get all of this in this program. It's a very holistic way of dealing with everything that goes into making your life. And what it'll do is create a capacity in you for resilience in the face of adversity. So not only will you be able to deal with adversity in a more graceful way, you'll also have some really great tools to help you overcome it. So over the 6 months, you're going to have one weekly live coaching session with myself or Linda, a weekly energy balance session, so you can choose one of 2 times, a weekly bonus recorded teaching that's on the theme of the week, access to the coaching team daily in our discussion forums and through one-on-one messaging. You'll also have a concierge available on a daily basis who will help you with any questions and concerns that may arise. And most importantly, you're going to be part of a community of peer support and encouragement. And you know, it's really easy to feel like you're all alone in the journey. But when you see that, and when you're feeling alone, you can really feel like there's something wrong with you. But when you're in a community of women who experience a lot of the same things, you start to see that maybe you're not so crazy after all. And you're doing this journey together. And the encouragement that you'll get from one another is really important. It just creates this whole synergy that feeds into everything that you're doing and builds it and expands it in a faster way.
For most women, modern life is very isolating. And to be able to work through some of these deep core issues with a group of women who are going through similar things gives you so much support and so much opportunity to encourage each other, to share your experiences, and to get feedback and get other people's experience to see what you could try and to get different perspectives on it, to help you see things from a different perspective. So over these 6 months, you're going to get really practical work to bring your mind and emotions into harmony. You're going to get an opportunity to work on the actual things that are going on in your life right now and find different ways to deal with them. So whether you're actually facing an abusive situation that you're trying to get out of, or whether you've got empty nest syndrome and your kids are gone and you're alone and you don't know what to do next or where to go or how to deal with it, or whether you've recently retired and you're just, you know, in that whirlwind of keeping myself busy so I don't have to look at myself, or maybe you're just very successful but unhappy with what you got because there's no satisfaction inside, there's no joy, there's no happiness in what you're doing. Any of those kinds of things will be good starting places for working through this process. And it's all about changing your relationship with yourself. It's about creating a positive, smooth, permanent change in the way you do things. Now, I know they say it takes 21 days to make a habit. I have tried that so many times. It does not take 21 days to make a habit. You can do it for 21 days, and then 21 days later, you're starting all over again because it wasn't a habit. Until you change the driving beliefs and values that create the behavior, nothing will really make a strong habit. You have to do the energy work. You have to do the conscious work. You have to figure out why you're doing whatever it is that you want to change in order to take the charge out of it and put yourself onto a different path. And so the way we approach it gives you that smooth, permanent change because we're looking at the core issues on the inside instead of just trying to sort of bulldoze our way through and create something that isn't really supported by your underlying emotions and values and beliefs. And all of that will lead to growing your capacity to handle the curveballs that come at you. And they all do. None of us are immune to that. And at any age, they happen. Life throws us things, and we know that we need to have strategies and processes in place that will deal with that so that we don't get torn apart by them.
I can remember when I started down this path, it actually felt weird to be in what I knew in my head was a stressful situation But at the same time, I wasn't freaking out. And I was kind of like, whoa, this is different. But eventually you get used to it.
Yeah, it feels really nice to be able to look at someone where you used to blow up or explode or burst into tears or whatever and go, you're having a bad day today, are you?
Yeah.
And just simply not have all of those buttons for them to push. We don't believe in trying to avoid pushing buttons. We believe in removing the buttons so they aren't there to push. We have carefully included in our process all of the 10 keys to successful transformation. If you haven't watched our workshop on 10 keys to successful transformation, you'll want to do that. Because over the years, we've learned what actually works in coaching and what doesn't, what actually provides the long-term transformation that people are looking for, and why they go into coaching. And if you don't have all 10 of those things, it's not likely to be highly successful. And the more of those things you have, the better off your program is going to be. And we have included all 10 of those in here. And I think it's really important that you look at other programs you're doing, whether it's through, a faith group program that you're in, or whether it's with another coach or a class that you're taking, and compare those 10 things to it to determine how successful you're going to be in it.
One of the things that's important too is that we're very results oriented. We don't believe in leaving people hanging. We don't believe in abusing you if you're not getting the results you want. Usually there's a really good reason why, and we always look to find what the answer is to get you where you need to go. We're not going to tell you, well, it's not because you're applying yourself, or you're not doing your job, or some of the other things that can happen. We don't believe that abusing you is appropriate, because some people have experienced by some of the coaching programs that are out there. So what we're doing is we're creating a safe environment for you to make the type of changes that you need to make, and make them in a permanent way that allows you to push forward where you need to go. And once you start down that track and you learn these basic skills, and you have these 10 keys working for you, the amount of things that you'll be able to accomplish in your life will astonish you in a good way.
Absolutely. And we recognize that this coaching program isn't really about the physical side of things, but the physical side of things is really important. It affects so much of what you're able to do. And so everyone who gets into our coaching program also gets the whole body tune-up, which is 4 classes that will help you work with your major organs and give you some real basis on which you can begin to deal with the physical things as well. And yes, we absolutely will talk about some of that kind of stuff. There is a lot of work in the 6 months of classes around that area, but all of that is supported with the energy work and the conscious, specific approach to dig down, find the roots, change it at the causal level, and then all of the changes will blossom up into the physical.
As a background to each month, you're going to work through the 5 pillars laid out in Linda's book. It's an actual book. I have one of the first copies that ever came out, and it was an Amazon #1 bestseller. So every day you're going to read a couple of paragraphs, you're going to do some energy exercises, and you're going to look at how food nourishes you. There'll be 20 minutes of some sort of easy exercise to do, and you're going to learn how to remove chemicals that interfere with your body's processes out of your system. A lot of us don't know that when you use, for instance, bounce fabric sheets, the chemicals that are in that are actually hormone disruptors that could be contributing to hot flashes and adrenal exhaustion and some of the other things that can take place in your body when your hormones get disrupted. So you'll be identifying those things, and we're going to be creating a foundational structure on which you can build healthy emotional, mental, and energetic skills, and make choices based on the values that you want in your life. You're going to create schedules that will satisfy your soul and remove subconscious beliefs and fears that are keeping you back from where you want to go. You're going to move through your life with grace and ease. And aside from the work that you do, you're going to receive weekly energy healing sessions around the themes and the thoughts for that particular week to ensure that you're able to make the needed changes you want in a way that makes them stick.
What I'd like to do is open up the back end and let you guys have a little peek into what's actually in the program, so you'll see what you're getting into. Because I know a lot of times I've hemmed and hawed and didn't really decide on a program or whatever, because I wasn't sure what I was really getting, and was it really worth that investment, and what was I going to be expected to do, and what kind of a time commitment was it. And I'm a pretty practical person, and I want to know all those answers. So I'm going to just quickly share that with you here. Let me just share my screen here and go to the back end here. So when you join our program, you'll end up in a place that looks like this inside our website. Now, the naturalbioenergetics.ca is our own private platform where we can run courses, where we can run the coaching. We have our training program for students who are learning to do natural bioenergetics. But what it will bring you into is this particular one right here. So once you're in the group, you'll start your course here. But just to show you what's going on, here's what you actually get for the course. As soon as you sign up, you'll get this welcome lesson. And in there is an article for you to read to help you get things organized, so you know exactly what you need to sort of focus on over these 6 weeks. It'll help you just keep on track there. There's a baseline stress quiz that we want you to take. It'll take you about 10 minutes to do. And this is a series of questions to see, where is stress showing up in your life right now? There are no right or wrong answers on it. Be as honest as you can. And then you will repeat the same quiz 6 months from now to see how much things have changed. Of course, there is we do have to do the things like contracts and all that sort of stuff. So that's in there, and you'll be able to see that. So when you go into the lesson for the week, which will bring you to a page that looks like this, there's a welcome video from us, and this is where your teaching video for each week. And each class, as you go through each week, our little teaching video will be in there. And these are the things that you can do on your own time whenever it fits into your week. They're generally somewhere between 10 and 30 minutes. They're not big chunks. And there is an assignment that goes with them to help you apply it personally. All of our assignments are really about taking the concepts and applying them into your life. So there'll be a video lesson like that every week. Each week a new one will open to you. And on this first, as soon as you join, welcome video, there's all the things that you need to do. There's what you expect, how much time it should take you to do all these things. You can start your quiz right there. You can download your documents right here. You can upload your contract right here, and then you mark it complete. So that's kind of the format of all of our lessons. That's how they'll work for you. When the first week starts, you jump into month 1, and month 1 again each week has a video, it has an assignment, and it has a weekly accountability. Now this weekly accountability is a quiz that you'll go in here and do, and it'll ask you a question like, have you read the stuff in the book for this week? If not, please go do so. Have you done your 20 minutes of exercise every day? Have you done the energy exercises that you were supposed to do? And it's just a way for you to double check that you've managed everything in the week. And hopefully over the weeks, you'll get better and better at doing that. Some weeks you may not do it at all, and that's perfectly okay. This is a way for you to keep track of what you're doing. And yes, we will get the answers and we can look at them so we can track and pick up, oh, this person's really having a problem in this particular area. We may hop into the messaging and the discussions and talk with you, or we might add a little extra video in relationship to that if it's something that many people are dealing with. So each week you'll get that little accountability. So I want to just tell you a little bit about what goes on in month 1. It's all around I know who I am. Month 1 is really finding out who you are now at this stage in your life with all the things that have happened to you. Where are you at? We want a snapshot of what's really going on in your life and what do you really want to do? What do you want to get out of life? What do you want your life to look like? So it's taking stock of all of your excuses. It's identifying the false beliefs that you've been working out of, the things that have been taught and ingrained into you. To sort out your desires versus others' desires and expectations of you. We use something called the identity matrix to help you change some of those things, to help you install a new belief system that you choose rather than one that was given to you as a child. And while you do all that, you'll begin developing the structure of a healthy lifestyle that includes the exercises and the meridian tracing, which is an energy exercise. Now, if you're already, going to the gym or walking daily or doing things, you don't have to do another exercise on top. You just have to be sure you're doing something. And we don't care what you do. But if you do nothing, then we'll ask you to do something. So you'll want to work through those there. And then month 2 looks very similar. So Cheryl, do you want to tell us what we're going to address in month 2?
So month 2 is all about how you create your own future. I'm hearing an echo, Linda. Okay, is that better? Yeah, it's better. Okay, so in month 2, you're creating your own future. So you're going to do the values exercise to settle on what your values are to be, and to recognize where you're not operating from them now. So you're going to see the discrepancy between the two. Then you're going to learn value-based goal setting to develop long-term and short-term goals to help bring your life back into alignment with your values. When you try to do goal setting just based on a list, it doesn't work as well, because it's really easy to create a list and become overwhelmed by your list. And the same thing can happen is if you take your list and you put it on a schedule, you can still become oriented to the schedule but miss the bigger picture. So we're going to teach you how to work out of your values so that you have the bigger picture that will manage your list and manage your schedule properly and bring you where you need to go. You're going to begin the process of understanding intuitive eating and listening to your body speak. So many of us follow different diet regimes, and we all have different types of metabolism. Some of us we're like cars. Some cars run on gas, some run on diesel, some run on propane. And if you put the wrong fuel into your tank, it won't work the way it should. So there is no one diet that we're going to recommend to you. Instead, we're going to help you learn how to listen to your body and to its cues around what you're putting in, because you have a unique biochemical makeup and it needs a particular type of fuel set to run it. So learning how to listen to your body is really important. You're also going to practice your new lifestyle pillars and begin to clean up the chemicals in your home that are sapping your vitality. And lastly, you're going to enjoy the body relax meditation 10 minutes a day. Just a really nice way to chill out.
Awesome. Thank you. And month 3, more of the same. Only this time in month 3, we're looking at I am what I eat. We're going to delve a whole lot deeper into the intuitive eating process and explore how eating has affected the 8 aspects of your health. It's much more complex than many of us think about. We tend to think about, what's healthy food, but we don't think about how the way we eat affects so many other things. And we're going to look at all of that kind of stuff. We're going to find and repair some of the damage that diet culture has done to many, many women. You're going to spend some time digging inward to find that burning yes. Find the concept of what really matters to me. And what kind of a legacy do I want to leave? Who do I want to be by the time I'm done? And then apply that concept into leveling up and work on the area of who's coming with you. How do you get people to come along with you? And sometimes, yes, you're going to raise and find a new level of people and a new group of friends. And some people will drop away because as you add the things you want into your life, other things tend to just fall off the table. You're going to practice some word meditations to strengthen your parasympathetic system. That means your ability to relax and actually turn off the stress in your body. And you'll add a new concept onto your identity matrix. In month 4, we're actually going to spend some more time working on I Am What I Eat, part 2. We're going to look at some of the lifestyle addictions. What do people use as a way to comfort themselves, whether that's food, shopping, wine, social media, depression? Those are all lifestyle addictions, things that you do to avoid having to look at yourself, things that you do to make yourself feel better, things that you do to create happiness from the outside. And happiness can only come from the inside. So we're going to spend a fair amount of time working on how do you figure out ways to let go of those addictions, because they really are addictions, whether you see them that way or not, and begin to build that happiness from the inside. You'll learn some more energy tools for listening to your body and changing your self-conscious beliefs. You're going to practice applying choice, chance, change. It's a very good exercise of ways to begin to build new habits. You'll discover the benefits of some deep breathing exercises. You'll find you'll have to identify things to replace food as a punishment or a reward. Most of us use food as punishment or reward, and we want to find a different way to do that. And you're going to add more concepts to your identity matrix.
In month 5, the theme is going to be I can stop the self-sabotage. You know, if you ask people, what do you need to do in order to have a healthy life? They all know what the answer is. Eat right, exercise, rest. But knowing it and putting it into practice are not the same thing. And a lot of times we have things that undermine us at a subconscious level. So we're going to use tools to change your beliefs and habits and create emotional hygiene with energy balance tools. You're going to recognize resonance. I'm hearing that echo again. I don't know if it's speakers or... How's that? That sounds a little bit better to hear. You're going to recognize the resonance of things so that when you're in a situation where you're feeling negative energy, you're going to learn not to take that negative energy on. And that can be negative energy coming from people, from the environment that you're working in, and you're going to learn to mirror emotions and frequencies. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to practice being present with your own emotions. So many of us take our emotions and we stuff them, and we use food and some of the addictive behaviors that Linda mentioned earlier as one of our ways of dealing with them instead of being able to experience them and move through them. You'll learn how to reprogram the tapes in your head with the BS Eliminator energy balance. You're going to learn how stress can come into your body from the outside through things like electromagnetic fields from refrigerators, your stove, your computer, and other sources, your cell phones. And then you're going to learn a really cool internal exercise called laughter yoga. We have a guest instructor who'll be working with us in that, because laughter heals your bones, strengthens the soul. It can actually reverse serious health conditions, as Norm Cousins learned. And you're going to add a 4th identity concept to your identity matrix.
And some of you might be thinking, you know, there's such a focus here on food and diet and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But people who are on any spectrum of the weight issues will benefit from all of this reprogramming, from all of these techniques and ways to change from the inside out to bring balance internally. So whether you deal with anorexia or deal with addictions, it's all coming from the same source. It's just everybody responds to it differently. And these tools that we're giving you, particularly in month 5 about stopping the sabotage, are so critical to every aspect of that, and not just around the weight issues, but all of the self-destructive behaviors that show up in the way we treat ourselves and the way we act towards ourselves. And our final month, month 6 down here, we'll practice tools for neutrality and acceptance and work towards becoming the observer of what is rather than the judge of what isn't. So many of us, and you will have been learning this all the way through, but we'll kind of pull it together in month 6. The ability to simply observe and not have to put a story on it, not have to put an emotion into it, not have to create an experience around it and simply be able to look at it and say, oh, this is happening. And not judge, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. Such critical tools that we'll have been building through the 6 months, but we're going to really pull together here. And then we'll look at the last major concept, and that is play. Play restores the soul, and most of us don't do enough playing, and most of us don't have a plan for what we could do to develop that. And so we're going to look at developing a plan for play, because you can fix the physical, you can fix the mental, you can fix the emotional, but if you don't really tap into the soul level and develop a good relationship with yourself at the soul level, you're never going to be fully satisfied. And so we're going to pull this all together into that last level there. You'll review your identity matrix and make a plan for the things you want to continue working on over time. And you'll develop a structural plan for the rest of your life. And of course, we hope you will join our ongoing community support group. So this is the part of the courses where you kind of work on yourself, but you have lots of support and communication and talk with us, lots of access to us. And you get that access by going over here to the group. So the class part is where you're going to get your video, your teaching videos and your assignments. And then you go over here to the groups where all the interaction happens. So once you're inside, you can click on the group and it'll come up the groups that you can belong to. Now I belong to a bunch of them because I'm the administrator, but yours will show up as this Reclaim Your Life coaching one. And once you're inside this group, there's a whole menu of things you can do here. You can go back to your course, or there's this news feed here. And this news feed is basically like a Facebook wall. All of you can post to it. You can say things to it. You can add pictures if you want to. You can post memes. You can share your experiences. You can ask your questions. You can say, hey, I tried this today. What do you think? This is the place where you can all share and communicate together. And we hope all of you will do that regularly. And this is kind of part of how you make friends virtually, is sharing on the feed here. And this feed is internal to our program. It is on our safe, secure site. It's not on Facebook. So we don't have to worry about being observed. Nobody's going to be able to stop it and take it down because they don't like something we said. It's our own internal secure platform. So we're safe to talk about whatever we want to talk about in here. Then there's the discussion threads. And the discussion threads are where we will post a question or post a topic, and everyone can go in and do it. So for each week, we will post a topic for the homework. So what you do in your assignment in the course, then you come in and post some of that information here. You'll say, I learned this, or I did that, or here's what I found. And they're organized by threads, so you can go and find them and comment on particular threads. So that you can start your own thread, or the coaches will post threads as well. But here things are organized by topics, so they're easy to go in and find them. Sometimes we'll say, oh, hey, you know what? We've got a bonus document for you. We'll load it up in the system. You can grab it down. That's where you'll find it here. So if you go into documents, we've already got some of the basic ones. You can download the book from here. You can get your coaching contract from here. The 4 steps to help you get organized is all in here. And most importantly is our Zoom room. Our Zoom room is right in here. So everything you need is inside the system. You don't have to go anywhere else. And in the Zoom room, you will have the links to get into the Zoom. You just click right here. You'll have the dates and the times for everything. It's all in here. There's your weekly coaching. There's your energy balancing. Everything you need for the live stuff where we meet together is all right here in the Zoom room. And one of the really cool things is you can send messages to each other or to us. So say you're working on your homework and you have a question, you're not quite sure about something, you can go in here and you can, now you won't have this send message to everybody, that's me only, but you can go in here, you can pick which one of us you want to send a message to, or you can send it to more than one of us if you want to. Put your message in here. You can either connect it to a group thread, or you can do a private reply, whichever you want. Group thread means several people will be able to see it. A private reply means only the one person will see it. And you can we'll send messages back and forth. So we have almost instant access to each other, and we get notified every time a message comes in here. So we know when you've asked a question, and we're happy to go do that. So when you join us, this is kind of how the program works and where it works. So a lot of the community building is all done here in the groups. All of the teaching and information and assignments are done in the classes. So I'm just going to stop sharing that there and go back to where we were over here. We're back. All right. So that's really what the coaching program is all about. We really hope you will join us. If you have not yet gone to, you know what, I'm going to share one more quick thing with you. I'm going to do this for you here. I just want to show you where to go to join the program. This page here, naturalbioenergetics.ca, Reclaim Your Life Mastery Coaching. There's links from the Facebook page. There's links from the group page. They'll all take you onto this, into here. Then we have a welcome video for you here. Join now right here. All you need to do is click that and go for it. The whole overview, everything you need to know is all in here, so you can find everything you want to know about the program. There's all the benefits you'll get. There's our promise to you guys. There's all the frequently asked questions. So come on over here to this page, and this is where you will go in, register, click on any of the links out of the Facebook stuff, and you'll end up over here. And right there is where you need to go. So please go click there and join us as soon as we're done here, or you can even do it right now. We're happy to have that. And we really look forward to having you in the group with us here. All right. So if you are wondering about whether you should or you shouldn't, we are available for private chats. Don't hesitate to send us some comments. We can have a private chat on Messenger if you like. Otherwise, you know what you need to do. You know you really need to do this stuff. You need to pay attention to yourself. You need to learn to listen to yourself. You need to make these changes. You need to figure this stuff out. This is where you get the help and the safe space to do it in.
Mm-hmm. So one last thing, you know, when you look at most coaching programs that are out there, you're going to be paying anywhere between $500 to $1,000 a month for coaching. We come at quite a bit less than that. It's still a reasonable price, and our goal is to make this available for as many women as possible. So you're going to get a real solid value for what you're paying. And you know, do it now, because the price won't stay this low for very long.
And one of the things that we have found, and we've been doing this work for a long time, both in private coaching one-on-one, in natural bioenergetics sessions one-on-one, and group work, both with coaching and natural bioenergetics in group work. And one of the things that we have learned is people who don't put any skin in the game, people who get it for free, people who get a discounted price, don't put the same value on it, don't do the same work, and don't get the same results. Unless you're willing to invest in yourself, unless you're willing to really put some skin in the game and decide, yes, this is the time I really need to do this, then, you know, maybe that's not the right time for you. But if it is the right time for you, put some skin in the game, do what you need to do, and we would love to work with you. We're so excited about what we see going on for women. And I've had so many conversations this week with people just watching the videos, making immense discoveries about themselves. I actually had an afternoon chat with 2 different people today on exactly that, things that they've discovered about themselves just from these 3 little videos that we've done in these last 3 days. And so just imagine what you're going to get if you do it for 6 months.
And you know, when you're living in uncertain times like we're experiencing now with the economy and how it's been impacted by COVID, you may be wondering, what should you invest in? And a lot of people who are in the know will tell you the most important investment you can make is not in the stock market, not in Bitcoin or other forms of cryptocurrency. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. So, you know, equip yourself, because when you do better, the people that you love, you'll be able to help them as well, and they'll do better as well.
And don't forget, as much as we know people need to invest in themselves and put skin in the game, we do want to give one of you a free entrance to the course because you've stuck with us the whole week. You've done your homework. You've shared it. Go on to the Facebook page and the Facebook group, and you'll see there all the instructions that you need to do. Make sure you get your homework in. Post them on the homework thread on there, or send them to us on Messenger if you don't feel comfortable posting them publicly. I realize this is deep personal stuff, and you may not want to post it publicly, and that's okay. Send them to us instead, so we know you've actually done the work. And tomorrow, one of you will get an email telling you that you have won it. So we'll give you time to get your homework in. We'll give you a day to do that. And then we'll go look and see who's done all the sharing, who's met all the requirements. And one of you will get that. And we will announce that on our next live, which is Tuesday night at 9. I'm on live every Tuesday night at 9 with topics around this and help for everybody. So please note those ones. And Cheryl, when are you doing your lives?
Thursday mornings.
Come on, get your schedule together. Do we need to do this? Cheryl can do her Facebook Lives.
I will be doing my Facebook Lives at 8:30 a.m. on Pacific time on Thursdays. So
awesome. 8:30 a.m. Thursday. That's nice midday for everybody else. West Coast, yeah. That's an early morning for you, but you can do it. And don't forget, those lives are always posted in our Facebook group where you can come and watch the replays as well. Obviously, lives are best because you can interact and ask questions. But if those times don't suit you, you're always welcome to find the replays there. So go enroll in the coaching program. We're looking forward to getting started with you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.